Good morning, how are you?
I'm doing excellent, thank you, Andrew.
What's the funniest advertisement you've ever seen?
Well, the funniest advertisement I've ever seen is clearly the one from a sports brand. Okay, I'm not going to tell you which one for now, but what happens basically is, so you see a very athletic guy running through the desert. Okay, he's running with his shoes, he's all dressed up in Nike. Okay, so he's wearing Nike shoes, Nike shorts, Nike shirt, he runs, he's like very fit, he's a lot in shape. He takes off the shirt and he's running through the desert sweating. He looks a little bit like Cristiano Ronaldo and he's super in shape, sweaty. Well, and then the camera, and you think it's a typical Nike ad, right? But then the camera zooms out, and you see, of course, someone has to carry the 45 kilo camera on his shoulder, and this dude is completely dressed in Adidas. Okay, so it's basically an Adidas ad where they, make fun of the Nike show-off.
That's a good one. What's your name and where are you from?
My name is Patrick Wind. I'm originally from Austria, but since 2016 I live, love and work here in Barcelona.
What did you study and which university did you graduate from?
I studied in Vienna, business administration and marketing, and I also did an exchange semester at the University of Texas in Austin.
Hook 'em horns.
Hook 'em horns.
Exactly. What kind of work do you do?
Well, I'm a marketing specialist. Since 2016, I'm focusing on Facebook and Instagram ads. I've taught over 115,000 people the full funnel strategy with which you can basically get the highest return on investment with your Facebook and Instagram ads. And since 2020, I'm running Europe's #1 marketing mastermind.
Excellent. Why did you decide to become an advisor at a homeless entrepreneur? And what kind of impact do you aim to achieve thanks to this collaboration?
Well, I've been following Andrew Funk for already 4 years, I think, on LinkedIn and other social media platforms. And I was very impressed and also very touched from the amazing work that he and his team is actually doing every single day. And yeah, especially in the marketing industry, people talk a lot about money, but where's the actual impact, right? So how can you actually give back to society? Now I'm in a pretty good position in my life financially, but also come from a family where money is definitely not in abundance. And yeah, like poverty is something I've seen from very close. I never had to face the issue of homelessness. Obviously, in my case, that was not the case, but I've had very close contact to situations that are very difficult. And for me, it's very important to help people that are in not the best position in their life right now and help them to get back on track.
I'd like to thank you from our community because it means a lot to have your support. Now let's talk about a little bit more about the vision of homelessness. What was your perception of homelessness before forming part of Homeless Entrepreneurs community?
I would say my perception of homelessness before was that it typically affects the statistical outliers, like people that do not fit into the systems and stuff. But after working closer with homeless entrepreneurs, I've seen that it actually affects everyday people like you and me, like entrepreneurs that run their business and then things don't go that well and then they end up on the street. So this really caught my attention, that it can affect you and me in the same way that it's affecting millions of people right now.
Yeah, to be specific, more than 150 million people are affected by homelessness around the world. And how has your perception of people experiencing homelessness evolved since you started advising at Homeless Entrepreneur?
Can you repeat that question?
How has your perception of homelessness changed or evolved since you started advising at Homeless Entrepreneur?
Well, the thing that I have clearly learned is that it's not just giving people a roof above their head and the bed, but it's more like, helping them to reintegrate into society, because most of the times it's not just a thing of a couple of days or a couple of weeks, but it's rather a couple of months or even years, and to reintegrate them into society is not that trivial. So it takes some time, effort, love and resources to really, show them a possible path for them, which can be very individual for each and every single one. What helps, what's the good fit and solution for one person does not necessarily mean that another person can do exactly the same path. So basically helping people in the best way possible, but in a very individual option.
And regarding your advisory support, what type of advisory support are you providing to homeless entrepreneurs community? And if I'm not mistaken, I think there's an event on May 6th that will take place in which we'll be involved. Could you explain a little bit about the support you're providing and maybe something about that special event?
Well, I've been collaborating with homeless entrepreneurs now for over 2 years, and the way that we've been collaborating has also changed throughout these years. So in the beginning, we basically did what we knew the best, which is teaching people marketing strategies. So we really worked closely for over 1 year with the homeless entrepreneurs and taught them how they can make money with social media, how they can make money with the internet nowadays. And yeah, so we had coaching sessions and all of these things to really teach them the knowledge that we have inside our brains and inside of our community, how they can actually apply it to make some money, not begging, but actually working with digital marketing, with social media and on the internet basically. And now this has evolved a little bit over the past years. Now we're also contributing financially on the one hand, but mainly working on a pro bono project. So pro bono, in our case, for example, we have plenty of people that are really good in creating amazing websites, amazing landing pages, funnels, Facebook ads, YouTube ads, Instagram ads, all of these things. And yeah, so we're now working for free, so without charging anything, of course, to get the voice from homeless entrepreneurs out there on the internet, on social media, everywhere, and promote this properly.
Great, we really appreciate that because the presence is important. First you need a voice, then a presence, and then participation, which is the goal, right? So also, how important is it to be well advised in order to reach one's goals?
Well, it's super important. Imagine that you don't know what's the north that you want to head to. It's very difficult to find the right path to reach it. I always like to compare it to, imagine now we're here in Barcelona. I just take a taxi, a cab, go to the airport and jump onto a random airplane without knowing if I want to go to Madrid, if I want to go to Vienna, if I want to go to Texas, right? Then I cannot complain if I end up somewhere that I didn't like so much. So it's the same with being advised or not being advised. An external advisor can really help you to define, first of all, your objective, your goal, your north, and then help you to reach that goal step by step.
Great. And regarding your professional milestones, which one are you the proudest of and why?
Well, the one I'm the proudest of is most likely an international reputation that I have, that I've gained over the last years. I'm also listed in this Forbes 30 under 30 list for the most influential marketers in Europe. And this, the external perception has basically changed the most. So the personal brand Patrick Wind before Forbes was perceived differently than after Forbes.
Before Forbes, right? Before Forbes. In reference to your professional growth and reaching your professional goals, how important are social media channels like LinkedIn?
Well, social media channels like LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat, name them, are super important nowadays. It depends obviously on your business, but especially if you're in B2C, like the latest ones I mentioned are highly important, but when you're in B2B, when you want to reach other companies, that's amazing if you're really strong on LinkedIn. So yeah, highly recommendable.
If you had to invite one of the social media brands to join Homeless Entrepreneurs Initiative, which one would it be and why?
What do you mean with social media?
If you
brands?
had to invite Instagram, Facebook, Twitter to join the cause to help what we're doing, who would you want to work with the most and why?
Yeah, well, the social media platform that I have been, working the closest with over the last decade is Facebook and Instagram, so the Meta platform. And I think something that they could do really nicely, so they renamed, right, from Facebook Inc. to Meta. And now the company is called Meta because they focus heavily on the metaverse, which is like a new universe, but inside a digital world that you can see with your virtual reality glasses. And well, homeless entrepreneurs could have a strong impact on the metaverse, showing also homelessness as an issue. Like as you mentioned, 150 million people are affected all over the world. And I'm pretty convinced that right now, in this moment in the metaverse, there's not a single homeless person represented. So, to raise awareness, this could be very interesting, to be honest, to find a collaboration there and be present also with the fact that it exists in the real world.
There was a French organization that created the first homeless person in the metaverse. Interesting marketing campaign. And maybe they'll create digital twins so that way people can prevent homelessness. That might be a good idea. Or a digital twin that helps people get out as well. What are some of the challenges and benefits of collaborating as an advisor for a homeless entrepreneur?
Well, as I mentioned in the beginning, I come from the marketing industry where it's always a lot about making more and more money, but people don't talk so much about giving back and what's the social impact. And for me, from all the global sustainability development goals, for me poverty is the one that I resonate the most with. So I can really, do something good for the world, and on the other hand also help the community and give back.
Well, I think we skipped, or you didn't mention the event on May 6th. So I'm going to circle back to that and ask how you think that will create an impact thanks to that collaboration.
So what we do on May 6th is we do a big Mastermind workshop with over 150 entrepreneurs from all over Europe here in Barcelona. And I'm very grateful and I'm very proud that Andrew is going to be there. And yeah, we're going to start officially, with our pro bono project. We're going to show each and every one which role they have in the project. And we're also going to, support financially to the organization.
We really appreciate that. If you had to choose an action that could get the attention of international press, what would it be?
I like the idea of the metaverse. It's already been done, but we don't have to reinvent the wheel, but we can still do plenty of other things and label that with homeless entrepreneurs. I think that could be actually a really good thing.
Well, they've implanted a homeless person in there, but they haven't empowered one. So I think that's where Homeless Entrepreneur can take place, showing how the homeless person gets out of homelessness in the metaverse. Could be a great...
That is actually brilliant. I would really like to see that going.
Let's make it happen. Okay. Out of all the interactions you've had as a homeless entrepreneur advisor, is there one that sticks out the most? And if so, why?
Yes, there is one interaction with a girl. I'm obviously not gonna, say her name now, but she was in a very difficult situation. Thanks to the coaching that, we've been collaborating with her when it comes to social media. She found a job that, basically from living on the street to making like 1,200 euros a month, working as a social media manager, social media assistant, like posting stuff on LinkedIn, posting stuff on Facebook and Instagram. That was like really cool, like really, really cool. From basically not in a good position to, being able to coming back on track, making some decent money, being able to pay the rent, pay the food and everything on her own. That was like really cool.
That's amazing. We should see what we can do to model that so we can help empower people out of poverty around the world, because you can use these platforms anywhere. Some are more complicated to use in some countries, but if there's a way to have a model, I'm sure that's something we could even present to governments. We can discuss that another time. Okay, would you recommend other professionals to become advisors with Homeless Entrepreneur? If so, please explain why.
Well, obviously it depends on what really affects you from the goals that there are in life. So you could also collaborate with, a company that helps to rescue animals, or with a company that is helping refugees, or a company that helps, reduce plastic waste. So everything is equally important. Just for me, what I resonate the most with is, as I said, is poverty in our Western society. Obviously, I also care a lot about poverty in other parts of the world. But what's right in front of my door in my neighborhood, people having to, eat the trash, these kind of things, it really strikes my heart. And yeah, if you feel something similar and you're an entrepreneur, you either have the financial resources or the knowledge for a pro bono project, I really encourage you to get involved in the Homeless Entrepreneurs Project.
Thank you. What can future homeless entrepreneur advisors do to collaborate with you as an HC advisor? How can they add value to what you're doing?
Well, if someone wants to collaborate with us, we're of course happy to increase our pro bono project. And if you're interested in web development and obviously Facebook and Instagram ads and also social media content organically, then reach out to us and let's see what we can do together.
Okay, so the last thing I'm going to ask you is I'm going to ask you to imagine one person you would like to direct a message to. Think of that one person that you think could actually make an impact. I would like you to name that individual and look at the camera as if you're speaking directly to him or her and ask them to get involved in a way that you think would make sense.
Well, my dear friend and role model, Barack Obama, here I'm reaching you. I actually admire you, read many books about you and the biography, and I think it would be amazing if the ex-former president of the States would actually get involved in homeless entrepreneurs. It would be an amazing sign and yeah, amazing symbol. So yeah, if you listen to this message, it would be really, really cool to have you on board.
This is when he drops the mic.
Dankeschön. Sehr gerne. Grazie mille.
Okay, great. Now he's going to take 2 pictures of you.
Yeah.